Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2019 Honda Accord. Up front is a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, and down below is a CVT transmission. And if you want to read more of my thoughts, head on over to carmarshal.com/overdrive, where I'll be writing a complete article about the new Accord. So like I said, it's a 1.5 liter turbo. Now we had the same engine and setup in the CR-V that I reviewed, and I really liked it. I really like Honda's low displacement turbocharged engines. The 1.5 liter, the Earth Dreams, as it says on top, it's actually a nice setup because it has the boost up top for passing power, but when you're just cruising around, you get the MPG of a 1.5 liter. All right, so let's see what the 1.5 liter compared to the CVT can do. A bit of wheel spin. Wow, we just got a little bit of wheel spin. Now it is pretty cold outside, but that just goes to show you that the 1.5 liter turbo, it packs a little punch. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna set down any stellar drag times at the Route 66 dragway, but what I am saying is that you're gonna have enough power to pass people on the highway if you need to. You're gonna have enough power for on-ramps. You're going to have enough power. I'm not left wanting more. Now, like I said, paired to it is a CVT transmission. I'm not the biggest fan of CVTs, but this one does fake shift. If you don't know, CVT means continuously variable, so there aren't really any set gear ratios. It kind of changes. Some CVTs don't fake shift, and they just go all the way up, and they sound really weird. This CVT actually fake shifts when we were going for it, so it actually sounds and feels like a normal transmission, which is a big deal to not freak out buyers. The interesting thing I felt with this transmission is when you actually do put it into gear, it really clicks. And last but not least, the Accord is front wheel drive. Now, let's get on to the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two gauges, sort of. To the right is my speedometer, like always, but to the left is actually a digital gauge that's showing me a bunch of different stuff. Right now, it's actually showing me my fuel economy, but I can switch it to, it shows your range and your trip odometer. To the far left, you do have your temperature of the engine, and to the far right, you do have fuel. On the steering wheel, you get a bunch of different buttons. This little scroll wheel actually allows you to switch between your trip A and trip B on the odometer, but you have your Bluetooth phone, navigation, lane keep assist, parking sensors, all of that stuff is controlled on the steering wheel. To the left, I have my trip odometer, but I also have two interesting buttons. First of all is traction control off. Nothing really too special there, but then there's a car with a circle around it. So this is Honda's sensor system that helps you keep your lane keep assist, cross traffic warnings, all of that sort of stuff. You can turn that on and off with one button. Now, 99.99% of people will want to keep those sensors on. They're safety features. They'll let you know if someone is going to collide with you, stuff like that, which is really, really handy. One thing that I don't normally comment on, but I will with the Accord, is that I normally don't do this. I usually don't adjust the mirrors because usually they're fine however they are whenever I get in, but I had to adjust this driver's side mirror, and it's really smooth and really quiet. I know that's something I don't normally comment on, but these power mirrors are really nice. To the right, I have a giant center display. The center screen is pretty large, although there is somewhat of a glare on it. It's noon right now in the winter, so the sun, justify that as you will. It's a little glary, but it's all right. Now, unfortunately, this center display does not have the same functionality as the CR-V that I reviewed, and so it doesn't have apps. As of right now, there's Bluetooth phone, media, radio, and that's it. So it's still an entertainment system. You're still going to get your entertainment through here. You can play your phone, Bluetooth, USB, whatever you want. But there seems to be no navigation or apps, which is not a big deal, but it is something that you should know if you're going to buy a base model, but they are available on the higher trim levels. So if you spec out your Accord, you can get navigation, apps, all that stuff. Then down below that, you have your heating and air conditioning controls, real nice and simple here. Then you have a little almost trap door below it. You press that, the door will raise, and then you get a cigarette lighter and a USB port. I really like that because when you close it, it has a nice and clean look. It really cleans up the dashboard a lot, but you still have that functionality of a USB port and a cigarette lighter. Then we have the shifter, like I mentioned earlier, that click, click, click shifter I really, really like. Then down below that, there's the economy button or econ button. So you hit that, it's gonna put you in econ mode. You're gonna get better gas mileage. You're gonna be a little bit more green than in normal mode. Then you have your parking brake, which is electronic. And then you also have brake hold. So what brake hold does is when you're sitting in traffic, like right now, I can hit brake hold, press it, and take my foot off the brake, and the car stays still. Once I get back onto the gas, then it releases the brake itself. Really, really handy feature if you commute long distances not on the highway. So like I drive 30 minutes to and from school and I don't take the highway. It's almost all city streets. And so there's a lot of stop and go. And so this really cuts down on the wear of stop and go, where you're sitting at lights and your foot starts to cramp up and all this stuff. It's almost like cruise control for stopping, if that makes sense. You know, the interior as a whole, even though this is the base model, it doesn't feel completely base model. You still get some pretty nice materials in here. Just from a material standpoint, this feels decently nice. I mean, you have this sort of metal-ish looking, vinyl-ish, I'm not really sure what it is on the dashboard, but that looks spec'd up. You know, I feel like a base model would have just a jet black or piano black strip that no one would really look twice at, but it looks decently nice. And from the outside, the Accord looks really nice. The seats are pretty nice. They are cloth, but they hold you pretty well. They're pretty comfortable. I really don't have any complaints. But speaking of seats, let's do a back seat review. All right, so we are in the back of the Accord, and there's tons of leg room, plenty of headroom. Like I always say, about 5'10", 5'11". Maybe if we hit a hard enough bump, I'd hit the ceiling. But other than that, tons of leg room. I get a pretty long center console, 2 cup holders, which is pretty nice. Other than that, nothing really to showboat about back here. I do get a little cubby hole on the center console, but it's pretty flat. Oh wait, no, the cubby hole actually goes into it, so you can actually put stuff in here, and when you accelerate, it won't fly out. That's pretty nice. Other than that, it's a roomy sedan. Definitely an advantage over the Civic or other smaller sedans is that longer wheelbase allows you to have more legroom and more headroom. I wouldn't mind spending a while back here. And of course, we'll talk about the looks. It's not going to win any awards, but I do think it looks nice. It looks professional. It looks grown up, which I think is really, really cool. And if you're gonna buy this as an adult, you should look like an adult. It doesn't look like a kid's car, which I think is a pretty big deal. If you're gonna buy this or the Civic, this looks more civilized than the Civic for sure. And that's because it's for more civilized people. You know, once you get older and, you know, if you're gonna have like business associates in the car or work friends or colleagues or whatever, you want that extra room. And that's what the Accord does give you. So the really cool thing about this car being a base model, because this is the base model of the Accord, is that I recently reviewed a base model 2019 Toyota Camry. So if you're interested in comparing the two, that link will be at the end of the video and vice versa. So if you guys are between the Accord and Camry, I have videos of both of them. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the Accord. It feels so grown up. I guess that's really the best thing I could say about it, is that it just feels like a grown-up car. It has matured. This is a mature vehicle. And so if you're looking for a car that's bigger than a Civic, it's nicer than a Civic, I would definitely take a look at the Accord. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video.